Hello and welcome to WCB and FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan Lacrosse. I'm Morris Fabry and I'm coming to you live from the Big House on this absolutely beautiful Sunday afternoon as the Michigan Wolverines are about to take on their hated rivals, the Ohio State Buckeyes. We're just a couple minutes here from face-off in the center of the field. Your starting lineups for the Wolverines on attack will be number 6, Peter Krause, number 5, David McCormick, and number 10, Ian King, who made his triumphant return from injury last week against Rutgers. The Wolverines were able to beat the Scarlet Knights 10-8 on their home field here in the Big House on Easter Sunday, and look to do the same against Ohio State, number 12 in the nation, Ohio State. OSU is coming off a victory over renowned annual powerhouse John Hopkins. They won that one 15-12. So needless to say, Michigan will be underdogs in this matchup and are looking to shock the Buckeyes and pull out a win, move to over 500 in the Big Ten, where they are 1-1, and over 500 on the season in front of a pretty sparse home crowd here in the Big House. Rounding out the Wolverines lineup in midfield, number 47, Kyle Jackson, number 17, Mikey Schlosser, and number 16, Mike Hernandez. On defense will be Stephen Bergman, Andrew Hatton, and Matt Gembis. Your face-off player today will presumably be Brad Lott, but that could be subject to change. And in goal will be the sophomore, number 22, Gerald Logan. Ohio State's presumed lineup at the moment will be on attack, Carter Brown and Jesse King, the junior and senior experienced duo that leads Ohio State in scoring on the season. King with 29 goals and Brown with 24 in 12 games played. Certainly a pair to watch out for. But before we get into the rest of the lineups, we're about to face off in the middle of the field. It'll be Christopher May for the Buckeyes facing off against who appears to be Brad Lott for the Wolverines. They're waiting in the center circle. Referee taking his time. Ref drops the ball, and we are underway. May smacks it in the Wolverines' direction where it is picked up by number 40, Bergman. Bergman gets blown up. The ball is loose, and it is finally picked up by number 9, JT Bluebaugh for the Buckeyes. He gets it to the right side of the field over at the 25. They throw it behind the net to number 2, Matt Schmidt. Schmidt works it over to number 14. That's Carter Brown. They'll give it back out to the right hash marks at the 30. Now down at the 10-yard line, they throw it back behind the net. That is where Brown will do some work. Brown running his way to his right, swings it out to the side to Colin Chell. Chell working back to the 20 to the 30, gives it all the way back near midfield to number 5, Turner Evans. Evans gives it back to Jesse King. Back to Evans at about the 40-yard line on the right hash marks. Evans cutting his way in, swings it over, and they shoot and score. And that's that is David Planning, the midfielder, putting Ohio State on the board very early. He was left all alone at about the 15-yard line outside the hash marks and slotted it home by the goalie Logan. So less than a minute after we get underway, Ohio State is out to an early lead. Looked like he just smashed that 1-5 hole, and not much Gerald Logan could do to stop it. So Ohio State out to an early 1-0 lead. Lott and May again ready to face off at the center circle. Refs looking to the sideline. The ball is down. Players crouched, ready to get in positions. They face it off. Lott and May tied up. A couple players come to join the scrum. It looks like May is about to pick it up. Finally picks up the loose ball. Dodges some defenders. Gets it up past the midfield line. Now going the other way is number 8, Regan Como. He passes it. They shoot and score again. And this time it is number 14, Carter Brown, before I could even catalog the action. That was Como getting it up the field, finding Brown at about the 20-yard line inside the hash marks, threw it in top corner, and before you know it, that's 16 seconds between goals, and Ohio State out to an early 2-0 lead. The Ohio State fans have traveled pretty well compared to the Wolverines fans, and they are certainly the louder group in the stadium right now. It'll be Lott and May facing off at the center circle again. It's becoming sadly a familiar place for Lott already in this game. May has won both faceoffs for the Buckeyes so far. The ref drops it. Lott and May tie it up. Again, May wins the faceoff. Ball is loose up in the air, bouncing around, knocked back into Michigan's attacking territory, and Michigan player bodies it up, moving in on net, and he will shoot and score. A quick goal for the Wolverines. That one to number 10, Ian King, fresh off his return from injury from Rutgers. He did a great job of boxing out his defender at about the 25-yard line on the far side hash marks and just walked his way right into the slot about 5 yards away, bounced it past the goalie, Tom Carey. So a quick response for the Wolverines and one that they probably needed in this one. The game now 2-1, less than a minute and a half in. So high octane, high scoring action so far here at the Big House. They're about ready to face off at the center circle yet again. Ian King, the sophomore, certainly figures to be a cornerstone in this growing Michigan lacrosse program. Leads the team in scoring despite missing time due to that injury. May and Lott face off, tying each other up. A couple players come to join the scrum. It's fought for and eventually picked up by Lott. And they're going to call a foul. Now the ball is going the other way. Regan Como has it for Ohio State at his own 35. Getting whacked at, tosses it back to Carey, back to Como at his own 20. Left side hash marks, jogging his way up the field. Swings it across the timeline up to Colin Chell for Ohio State at the 20. Dumps it behind the net where he will find number 14, Carter Brown. Brown working his way back out to the 10. Gets it out to number 9, JT Blueball. Blueball up top to Chell, now to the right side where I believe Jesse King will throw it back down behind the net. Now it's Carter Brown with it at about the goal line. Throws it back out to Chell at the 30, near side. Chell up top to number 36, Tyler Pfister. Pfister throws it back behind the net. Working with it now is number 19, Jesse King. He is met by Hatton. Thrown back. Now Bergman defending him at the 10-yard line on the far side near the numbers. King backing his way toward the net, and they're going to call a violation, and Michigan's going to take over with this one. Looks like it will be Bergman working with it. He gives it back to his goalie, Logan, who swings it far to the right side to Mikey Hernandez. Hernandez across the 50, weaves his way past the defender, leaves him in his tracks at the 25, rips one on net. What a save by Carey. Snagged that out of the air with his stick, and now Ohio State will have it going the other way as Robbie House, the defenseman, gives it up to Planning, who is coming off the bench for Ohio State. Planning gets across the 50, across the 40, now to the 30 at the near side numbers. Near the sideline, tosses it back behind the net to Brown. Brown working, trying to weave his way in front, but Bergman able to fend him off. Brown taking his time in the Michigan end zone, trying to come out front. He is met there by Gembis. Brown throws it back up top to number 10, John Kelly. Kelly, they swing it over. Now Chell has it on the near side at the 25-yard line. Back up top to number 10, John Kelly. Kelly working down the right side, dumps it down low. They swing it across number 5, Turner Evans. Evans behind the net, trying to weave his way in, trying to get to his left side. Out in front of the 10, bodied up at the 20, swings it back out. They get it over to Chell. Chell winds up, passes up a shot. Ball is loose now, and it's knocked up in the air, and they're going to call some sort of foul. I believe that one is going against the Wolverines, so Ohio State will get a chance to reset with the ball. Not exactly sure what the nature of the foul is from up here. We don't have the referees mic'd up, but it looks like Ohio State will have a 30-second power play. It'll be Parker McKee charged with a penalty coming off for the Wolverines. So OSU has the ball behind the net. They'll swing it out to number 12, David Planning. Planning up top to Chell. Back to Planning at the 20-yard line, near side numbers. Up top to King. King passes inside. Shot deflected. Picked up by Bergman. Bergman has it. He's biding his time behind the net. Swings it out to number 43, Thomas Orr. Orr is sprinting up the field for the Wolverines across the 50. Past the 40. The penalty is now killed. Wolverines back at full strength, able to avoid surrendering a goal now, and it's David Joseph with the ball at the 40-yard line. Over to the left side to number 10, Ian King. King swings it across to Kyle Jackson. Jackson near side at about the 30-yard line, nears the numbers, between the numbers and hash marks. Back up top to Mikey Schlosser. Over to, I think, Francia, now back to King. Back to Schlosser, far side at the 30. Schlosser spins back to the 40. Throws it across field to Kyle Jackson. Jackson at the 30 at the numbers. Dumps it behind the net to number 15, Will Meter. Meter swings it over to number 5, David McCormick. McCormick back out to Schlosser. Now King at midfield swings it to Jackson on the right side. Jackson at the 30. The 25-20 working his way inside. Throws a shot. It's knocked down. Ball loose. Picked up by Meter. Gives it back to Kyle Jackson. Fakes a shot. Moves and shoots and scores. Kyle Jackson, top shelf, over the shoulder of Tom Carey, and we are back even here at the Big House. The Wolverines able to kill the penalty, and then at the other end make Ohio State pay for their lack of execution. The score now 2-2 with 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Jackson took a couple shuffle steps as though he was going to wind up and rip one from distance, but in doing so, he froze the Buckeye defense and was able to move his way into a great shooting spot and roofed it right by Tom Carey. So we are now even and ready to face off in the middle. Chris May and Brad Ladd. May has won the majority of face-offs so far today. Ref puts the ball down. We're waiting at center circle. They're fighting for it now, and looks like May came up with it, had it knocked away. A pile of bodies at the center field, and then just picked up for Ohio State by number 45, Brendan Barger. And they swing it over. Now Carter Brown has it for Ohio State, jogging his way down at the 20, near the numbers on the near side. Brown swings it back behind the net to Chell. Chell gallops his way right behind the net, trying to get to his right hand, swings it back out to Brown at the 15 by the numbers. Now it's number 9, Blue Ball. Blue Ball swings it across field. Cutting in toward the net is number 10, John Kelly. Kelly swings it back. They have it behind the net. It's Brown over to Chell on the right side, or the near side. Chell out to Blue Ball. Blue Ball back over across the field to Kelly. Kelly working his way down toward the near side hash marks at the 12, faking his way. Stutter steps. Now behind the net to Brown. Brown swings it out. Shot, save made. That was Blue Ball with a bid from an odd angle. Ohio State able to scramble for the rebound. Now Carter Brown has it. Throws it behind the net. A chance now. Pass out front. Number 9, Blue Ball working his way now back behind the net. Fended off there by the Michigan defender. That's number 35, Chase Young, I believe. Young still working against Blue Ball, who has it behind the net. Gets a screen from Brown and throws it back now to Brown at the far side hash marks 5-yard line. Brown working his way back out front, turns, shoots, and that one might have hit the stick of Gerald Logan as it deflected wide and out of play. Ohio State maintains possession as Chell has it behind the net. Chell swings it out to the near side to number 19, Jesse King. King at the 25, stutter steps, finds his way inside at the 10, throws it across net. Blue Ball in, shot, and he was bodied up, and that shot went wild. Now a scramble for the ball. It's picked up by the Wolverines. It looks like number 40, Stephen Bergman, had it going the other way, lost it. Ball's knocked ahead, picked up at the far side of the 50, knocked down again. A broken stick out there. Chaos on the field. And now the Wolverines trying to save it from going out of bounds. It's Ian King who has it at the 10-yard line. King working his way around the net and stops, backs it off for the Wolverines. And right now with it on the far side at the 20-yard line, it appears to be number 3, Mike Francia. No, number 5, David McCormick. McCormick taking his time with it, backing down toward the end zone on the far side. Defended there by number 9, Blue Ball. McCormick has it behind the net now. Working his way back out front, dumps it back down to Will Meter. Will Meter very close to that circle surrounding the goal behind the net. Defenders waiting on him, looking to find a pass. Nobody's going to meet him back there. Meter works his way out front now, stumbles, loses his footing, harassed by a bunch of sticks, still has the ball though. Meter swings it out to Jackson, the goal scorer for the Wolverines, who gets it right back to Schlosser, who swings it far side to Hernandez. Hernandez gives it back to Kyle Jackson on the near side at the 25-yard line near the numbers, working his way in toward the hash mark, stops, turns around, still has it, gives it back behind the net to McCormick. McCormick fakes his way out front, shoots and scores! David McCormick, a wraparound chance. The Wolverines playing a physical brand of lacrosse to win the ball back, and they bide their time. They have a very effective execution on the offensive end. David McCormick gets a shot from a sweet spot and slots it home. Michigan takes a 3-2 lead over the Buckeyes, and the fans are loving it. Michigan on a bit of a run, having scored 3 unanswered goals, responding to Ohio State's 2 to start the game. I'd say the crowd right now is about 3/4 maize and blue. A few hundred fans out there on the far side of the field from my vantage point up here in the medical eye in the sky booth. That's where they have us calling today's game. And to be honest, I couldn't really ask for a better view and couldn't really ask for a better day to call the game. Got the window open up here because it is a stunning, stunning day. Mid 60 degrees. Sky is blue as you like. There are clouds up there, but they are absolutely benign, not threatening in the slightest. Just a reminder, it is a 3-2 game here at the Big House. 6 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter of Michigan Lacrosse versus Ohio State. You are listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan Lacrosse. This broadcast brought to you in part by the Daily Sports Report, which you can listen to Monday through Thursday from 6 to 6:30 p.m. on 88.3 WCBN FM Ann Arbor or at WCBN.org, where we'll talk about all kinds of Michigan sports, including but not limited to lacrosse, I suppose. After that brief advertisement break, we are about back underway. Lott and May. It looks like Mike McDonald will face off instead of Brad Lott in the center against Christopher May. McDonald jumping into the air, trying to loosen up his limbs before doing battle at the center circle with number 25, the seasoned Chris May, who was 139 for 215 on faceoffs this year. An effective faceoff man for sure. Definitely contributing to Ohio State's success thus far on the year. Ohio State 9-3 on the season, 2-0 in the Big Ten, heading into this battle against the up-and-coming Michigan Wolverines lacrosse team. May getting in his final stretches. McDonald looks ready to go. I believe we just had a brief Ohio State timeout, which would explain the break in action. Ohio State out shooting Michigan 6-5. Gerald Logan has been the better of the 2 goalies today, though. The ref puts the ball down. McDonald and May ready to face off, and Ohio State wins it as McDonald had a bit of a false start there. We're underway. Regan Como gets it up the left side to Jesse King, who looks back out toward midfield, finds David Planning back to King on the far side of the 20 at the numbers. King working his way behind the net where he finds Colin Chell. Chell swings it over to Parker Brown. Brown out to Blue Ball, back up top to number 10, John Kelly. Kelly working his way at the hash marks at the 25, out to King at the 25. Looks for a shot. Now he finds Blue Ball inside. His shot saved by the foot of Gerald Logan. Miraculous job keeping that one out of the net. The ball bounces up. It's gathered by Kelly, who swings it back up top to David Planning at the 35-yard line between the hash marks. He'll swing it over to Blue Ball, back up top to Planning. Planning at about the 30-yard line, right side hash marks. Back behind the net to King. King swings it across to Colin Chell. Chell in the end zone at the near side. Gives it up to Blue Ball at the 25 near side. Back up top to Planning. Over to Blue Ball. Blue Ball running in on net. Moves his stick to his left side. Now at the 10. Spins toward the net. Rebuffed. Gets it back out to 19 King. King swings it to the right side. Moving in on net is Planning. Planning body fakes. Moving in toward his left side. Doesn't have a good angle for a shot. Good defense there by number 9 for the Wolverines, Dan Kynek. Now it'll be Colin Chell with it behind the net for Ohio State. Chell gets a screen from Brown, working his way toward the net. Gives it back to Brown in the end zone between the hash marks. Brown shimmies his way out across the 10 to 15. Turns with it toward his right side. Now turning left, trying to move in toward the goal. Backing his way down on his man. Now spins, gets a shot blocked down by Kynek and picked up going the other way with it is the Wolverines. And that is number 43, Thomas Orr, who picked up the loose ball. The Wolverines working with it. They pass it off across up the field to number 9, Dan Kynek. Kynek working his way in, knocks down a defender, swings it at the 10-yard line on the far side. I believe that's Hernandez. Hernandez taking his time with it. Dumps it over. They give it back up to midfield, and in fact, that is Hernandez. I was incorrect about who was at the far side. Hernandez working his way in. Turns with it at the near side at the 20. Back up top to number 33. Swings one on net right into the waiting stick of the goalie. That was P.J. Bogle with the shot there. Now going the other way with a full head of steam is King. Loses it over to Brown. Brown picks it up at about the 25 at the near side. Brown sprinting toward the middle of the field. Across the 20. Other side of the hash marks. Back behind the net. In a dangerous position now is Colin Chell. Looks similar to where McCormick was before the Wolverines' most recent goal. Chell looking for a pass out in front. Met with some stiff opposition. Swings it back up top. They get it over to the left side. Shot just high and wide of the net. Waiting to score there was Jesse King, and he had a golden opportunity. Chell will pick it up, throws it back behind the net to Brown. Brown working his way out front, shoots, and a point-blank save made there by Logan. The Wolverines hacking for the ball, and there to pick it up is Matt Gembis. Gembis gets it up to Logan. Logan working his way on the near side hash marks at the 15, tosses it up to his defenseman, and they'll get it up to Mikey Schlosser. Schlosser across midfield, now at the 30, the 20 at the near side numbers. Behind the net to Meter. Meter swings it across field to McCormick. McCormick takes his time with it, gives it back to Meter. Meter between the hash marks in the Wolverines' end zone. Meter working his way back toward the near side. Now swings it out to Kyle Jackson. Jackson has it at the numbers at the 30. Back up top to, I believe, Ian King. King swings it left side, gets it back. Now Jackson has it at the right side. At the numbers, the 20, the 15, behind the net to Meter. Back now to Jackson. Jackson on the near side, numbers at 20. Back up top to King. King swings it over to number 17, Mikey Schlosser, looking to make a run, cutting toward the middle. Passes it over to the right side to King. King at the 20. Back up top, finds a man. It's Jackson. Bouncing shot, whistles just wide of the net. The Wolverines will maintain possession. Picking it up behind the net is Will Meter. Meter trying to work his way out front. Turns around, spins it back, gives it to McCormick behind the net. Working his way out, gives it up to number 17, Schlosser. Schlosser on the far side. Back up top to King at the 35 between the hash marks. Over to Jackson now at the near side. Numbers at 25. Jackson working his way in on that. His pass bounces across the field to Schlosser. Back up top to King at the 30 between the hash marks. King working his way to his right inside of the 20. Near side, tough angle shot is knocked away there by the goalie, Tom Carey. Good save to keep Michigan with only a 1-goal lead. The ball is picked up at the sideline by Kyle Jackson. Play is back underway. Jackson takes his time with it, gets it back out to midfield to King. King swings it over to Schlosser, dumps it down low to McCormick at the 10-yard line on the far side. Behind the net now to Meter. Meter swings it to the near side, Jackson. Jackson back up top to King. King over to Schlosser, the far side, numbers at the 30, now the 20. Schlosser with a weaving run inside, gives it to Meter. Meter pass out to King. King uses his body. Bouncing shot, save made by Tom Carey. He has come up huge for the Ohio State Buckeyes in this one. Ohio State working the ball out of their zone. It'll be Regan Como tossing it up the field across the 40. Finds his man, number 33, Casey Capinos. They have it behind the net now with Colin Chell. Chell working his way out front. Throws it back out to number 36, Tyler Pfister. Pfister across the field. Now working in on net is number 5, Turner Evans. Evans loses it. Now going the other way for it with the Wolverines is someone. The ball is flung all the way up the field. Meter has to fight for it behind the net, and that's going to do it for the first quarter. Michigan heads into the break to a round of applause from their home fans, leading the Ohio State Buckeyes 3-2. We'll be back with you very shortly with second quarter action here from the Big House. Hello and welcome back for the second quarter of WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan Lacrosse. Michigan now moving right to left against the Buckeyes. They're leading their rivals 3-2, although Ohio State is out shooting the Wolverines 10-9. Both goalies have made some pretty nice saves down the stretch of this first quarter. We're ready to start the second. Chris May facing off against Mike McDonald for the Wolverines. Referee's about ready to blow the whistle and start the second quarter. McDonald, the freshman, and Chris May, the senior, ready to face each other. Crouch down, ready to do battle and start this second quarter. And we are underway. May wins it for the Buckeyes, running in across the hash marks, fighting with the ball, moving in. He's almost in on goal where he has it knocked away from him. May trying to pick it up. Ball stays in bounds. The Wolverines and Buckeyes fighting for a loose ball near the sideline. It's picked up by number 2, Andrew Hatton. Hatton has it knocked away from him, and now on the ground is 49, Chase Brown for the Wolverines. Brown chases it down, picks up the ball, and as dispossessed behind his own net. A lot of people fighting for it. Logan is out behind his own goal, and Ohio State awarded the ball due to some sort of infraction by the Wolverines, and it'll be Jesse King setting up on the near side at about the 5-yard line. Swings it back out to number 12, David Planning. Planning has a goal on the day for the Buckeyes. King sends it behind the net to Carter Brown. Brown over to the far side to Colin Chell at the 15 near the numbers. They give it back up top to John Kelly. Kelly at the 30-yard line. 25-20, working his way inside. His bouncing shot is blocked by Gerald Logan. Logan fakes a pass moves out of his circle and finally gives it up to number 4, his trusty defenseman, Matt Gembis. Gembis out near the 30, backs it up, now throws a long pass downfield where it is caught by number 9, Dan Kynek. Kynek swings it in to number 15, Will Meter. Will Meter swings it over to Ian King. King on the near side at the 15-yard line, works his way out back to the 20, taking his time, waiting for the Michigan substitutes to get on the field. You will find Peter Krause out near the 40. Krause swings it over to Jackson, back to King. King at the 30-yard line, near side, hash marks across the field to Krause. Krause to Meter behind the net. Meter over to McCormick. McCormick back out to King. Sorry, that would be Schlosser now. Schlosser up top to King. King across to Krause. Krause working his way inside at the 15, far side, back up top to Schlosser. Schlosser's pass to King is mishandled. King able to pick it back up, sends it back out. The Wolverines reset. Schlosser running down the right side, bouncing shot, save made. King working to pick up that loose ball. It's kicked ahead by an Ohio State defenseman. He's tripped up at midfield. No call, and it'll be picked up now by Matt Gembis. Gembis crosses the field, swings the pass all the way over to Will Meter, backtracking his way to help secure the loose ball. And now Meter has it at the near side, numbers at the 10, swings it back to Ian King. King up top to number 17, Mikey Schlosser. Schlosser swings it across to Jackson, working it on net. His shot bounces into the goal. Another tally for the Wolverines. They now lead 4-2, and that was a really skillful move there by Kyle Jackson at an odd angle. Almost had to swing it from on top of his head down between the wickets of the goalie, Tom Carey. Jackson with a run all the way from about the 27-yard line. Looked like he was just going to find his way back behind the net, but flung it on net almost as an afterthought and puts the Wolverines ahead in this one, 4-2. Jackson with his second goal of the game. We're about ready for a face-off again now. McDonald again will battle with Christopher May. Michigan has a bit of a rotation in their face-off men, but the Ohio State Buckeyes will stay with May. The ball is down, the ref is ready, and we are back underway. May fighting for it, collides with his teammate, number 49, Chase Brown. Ball is loose and finally picked up by the Ohio State Buckeyes. They have it going the other way. Toward the Michigan goal is number 30, Johnny Pearson. Pearson swings it. Now King throws it all the way across the field to Brown. Brown cutting his way inside, stumbles, loses his footing, and able to get it behind the net to Colin Chell. Chell is harassed by a Michigan defender, gives it up to Jesse King. King, the leading scorer for Ohio State on the season, has the ball on the near side, numbers at the 15, swings it back out to Blue Ball. Blue Ball over to number 36, Tyler Pfister. Pfister gives it up. Now they have it behind the net as Parker Brown. Near side numbers out to Blue Ball, out to Pfister. Between the hash marks at the 30, back to Blue Ball near side. 25 cutting his way inside toward the middle of the field. Now moving on goal, has the ball knocked away out of his stick. And it will go the other way for the Wolverines as that ball skittered out of bounds. Gembis moves to pick it up for Michigan. Swings it up the field to number 9, Kynek. Kynek back to his goalie, Logan. Logan met by an Ohio State Buckeye. A little bit of contact there after he unloaded. No call there. And now a pass across field is mishandled, and going the other way are the Buckeyes after the turnover. Number 30, Pearson, swings it over to Brown. Carter Brown has it on the near side, numbers at the 22-yard line. The substitute, Bergman, for the Wolverines chases him down, but now Brown moving toward the net. His shot rings off the post. No goal. Picked up, and now moving in is David Planning before he is met there by Bergman. Disorganization in the Wolverines' defense almost led to an easy goal. Brown not able to find the twine in the back of the net there. Now moving with it for Ohio State, number 10, John Kelly. Kelly gives it back to number 5, Turner Evans, back to Kelly. Out in front, shot scored. Jesse King left all alone from about 5 yards out. That's inexcusable for the Wolverines defense. Maybe a bit confused with Evans coming on as a substitute, but whether you call it good execution by Ohio State or poor defending by the Wolverines, the result is the same. Ohio State gets one back, and now trails the Wolverines only by 1. The score 4-3 here at the Big House. Timeout taken by the Wolverines now as they look to regroup following Ohio State's response to what had been a game that had been mostly controlled by the Michigan Wolverines. 10:19 to go here in the second quarter on this beautiful Sunday lacrosse matchup between the Michigan Wolverines and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Michigan leading this one 4-3. The shots favor the Ohio State Buckeyes 13-11. The goal scorers for the Buckeyes are number 14 Carter Brown, Jesse King, and David Planning. For the Wolverines, your scorers are Kyle Jackson with 2 tallies on today's game to go along with Ian King and David McCormick, who had a really nifty wraparound goal late in the first quarter to put the Wolverines ahead 3-2. Jackson's bounce shot between the legs of goalie Tom Carey made it 4-2 Wolverines before the most recent goal by Jesse King, as he was left all alone in front of the goal, brought this one a little bit closer. The Wolverines ready to retake the field. Looks like we're going to have yet another face-off man for the Wolverines. Looks like it will be McDonald. Mike McDonald still taking the face-off against Chris May, who has not missed a single face-off, is not subbed out for a single face-off for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Players are taking their positions. They're almost ready to get underway. Refs have placed the ball in the middle of the center circle, in the middle of the M, in the middle of the football field, in the middle of the Big House. May and McDonald ready to do battle for this face-off. We are underway. McDonald fighting off May. Ball bounces loose. It's picked up by the Buckeyes. Number 45, Brendan Barger, swings it back behind the 50-yard line. And they'll toss it into a recent substitute, David Planning. Planning sprinting down the right side. Out behind the 10, tosses it behind the net to Colin Chell. Chell swings it across to Brown. Brown at the far side, 10-yard line. Out top to number 12, Planning. Swings it across to John Kelly. Kelly at the 30-yard line, 25 now. Hash marks, fires a shot, bounces just wide. Logan barely had a clue where that one was, and Ohio State maintains possession behind the net now is Parker Brown. Brown working toward his right side, out in front of the net. Guarded by Bergman. Back up top to Planning. Planning swings it near side to Kelly. Kelly working his way in on net. Fakes a shot. Turns with it. Back in. Easy shot. What a save by Logan. Just got that with the top of his stick. And it bounces out of play where Colin Chell will pick it up for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Chell has it at the far side. Beyond the 10-yard line. Back behind the net now to Turner Evans. Evans with speed. Cuts his way inside. Looks behind the net before he passes it back out to Planning and gives it right back to Evans at the 20 near side. Cutting his way toward net, loses the ball. It's on the ground. Evans fighting for it. Knocked to the ground, and the referees have seen something wrong with that one. So Ohio State maintains possession. Now Ian King has it spinning at the 20-yard line. Far side hash marks. Trying to get his way in toward the net. Back behind the net. Bounce pass picked up by Brown. Good scoop. Out to Evans now near side 20-yard line. Evans swings it back out to Planning. Planning over to the left side to King. King back behind the net to Chell now. Chell swings it to the near side. Evans back up top to Planning. Ohio State cycling the puck. Now Kelly working his way in on net. Behind the net now. And now King has it on the near side at the 20-yard line. Backing his way in. Swings it back out to Kelly. Fakes a shot. Pass inside. Shot. Scores. Number 22, Colin Chell left alone out front. And that's the Ohio State Buckeyes just cycled the ball, passing around the net again and again, back and forth, working the Wolverines defense, stretching it until finally it broke, and Colin Chell, with great movement off the ball, found the gap in the Wolverines defense, was all alone in front of the goal, and there was absolutely nothing that the goalie Gerald Logan could do about that one, and the Ohio State Buckeyes have come back from a 4-2 deficit to tie it here with 8 minutes and 26 seconds to go here in the second quarter. That one right over the shoulder of Gerald Logan, who at that point you can't even react to the ball. It's just already past you before you even realize it is there. Wicked quick flick of the wrist there by number 22, Colin Chell. So we're tied at 4. McDonald and May facing off in the middle. Everyone is still as we await the refs getting us underway. We are underway. And that ball bounces around. It's picked up now by number 35, Chase Young. Chase Young loses it. Now going the other way are the Buckeyes. They fake a pass. Well, now they get it to Brown on the far side. Parker Brown working his way in on that. Dumps it behind to King. King has it now on the near side at the 15-yard line. Back up top to number 21, Rick Lewis. Lewis has it back at the 35-yard line between the hash marks over to the right side of Chell. Chell swings to King at the 10-yard line near the numbers. King behind the net now to number 16, Ryan Hunter. Hunter, far side. Now they'll give it back up top to Lewis. Lewis back to the far side, working his way in on net. The pass, the shot, the save by Gerald Logan. Quick reactions there to keep the Wolverines tied in this game. Logan back behind the net to Gembis. Mac Gembis working at the 25-yard line. Back to Logan. Logan swings it across field to Hernandez. Hernandez making a run across the 30, across the 40, and across midfield into the attacking zone for the Wolverines. Continuing his run across the 30. Now stops and turns at the 25, and he'll get it back out to midfield to Schlosser. Schlosser swings it over to Jackson. Jackson back to Schlosser, who has some space at the 30, backs his way up. Back over to Jackson at the far side, numbers near the 20. Jackson over behind the net. And with it now is McCormick. McCormick out to King. Ian King back up top to Mikey Schlosser between the hash marks at the 40. Schlosser over to Jackson. Jackson sends it right back to Schlosser. Schlosser now over to King on the near side at the 15. King running to his right, still running to his right, spins with it, working his way into net. His bouncing shot is well wide of target and is chased down now by Will Meter. Meter picks up the ball out of play, and we will resume. Meter on the far side in the end zone, gives it over to McCormick behind the net. McCormick swings it out to King at the 15-yard line, working his way inside. King spins back to his left. His shot again, this time saved by the goalie, Tom Carey, standing strong in net. Wolverines still have the ball. Jackson on the far side, dumps it down low to Meter. Meter over to McCormick on the near side hash marks. McCormick gets it out to number 17, Mikey Schlosser. Schlosser at the numbers on the 25, the 20, back down low to McCormick. McCormick swings it back to Meter. Good exchange there by the Wolverines. Meter close behind the net. Is forced back outside. Gives it up to King at the 25. Near side, King back down to Meter. Meter across to McCormick. McCormick in the end zone on the far side. Over to Jackson. Back down to Meter. McCormick. McCormick over to Jackson. Jackson at the 10. Dumps it down low to Meter. Meter working behind the Wolverines net. Looks to make a run out front. McCormick trying to find some space in front of the net. Bodying his way up on his man. Spins with it. His shot. Save made by Carey. Picked up now by Jackson. The Wolverines have spent a lot of time on attack, yet unrewarded so far. Mikey Schlosser has it now at the 30, trying to cut his way inside. Good defense there to meet him. Looking for a pass inside. Turns with it. Has it at the 20. Swings it back to McCormick, who rips a shot wide. Ball bounces around, and the Wolverines will have this one in a timeout called, I believe, by the Ohio State Buckeyes to try to collect themselves a little bit. Michigan with a furious attack salvo right here, but nothing to show for it so far. We are tied 4-4 here with 5 minutes and 4 seconds to go here in the second quarter. Wolverines Buckeyes still tied at 4. Ohio State out shooting Michigan 17-15, although Tom Carey has had to come up with some pretty big saves in the recent flow of the game for his Ohio State Buckeyes. Not spectacular saves, but nonetheless saves that must be made, routine plays that a goalie needs to make in order to keep his team in this game. When we get back underway, the Wolverines will most likely have the ball. Crowd maybe a little bit more dense than when we started the game, but not much so. That spot in the stands on the far side between the 25-yard lines. Part of the stands that is shaded in yellow with a big block M in the middle is where the fans have congregated. No one in any other part of the stadium. But I'll tell you, if there was ever a day you were going to come out and watch a lacrosse game, it is today. The weather absolutely stunning. Two teams that hate each other playing each other, and we're back underway with Will Meter having the ball at the far side goal line. Gives it back out to Kyle Jackson. Jackson up top to King. King over to Jackson on the left side. Sorry, that's Schlosser on the far side at the 40. Mikey Schlosser working his way into 30. The 20, fakes a shot, sends it behind the net to Meter. Sorry, to McCormick. McCormick working his way out toward the 10-yard line on the near side, back out to King at the 30. Ian King taking his time, looking for a run, running toward his right-hand side, spins with it, backs it out to Jackson. Jackson at the 35 between the hash marks. Over to King. King back out to Schlosser. Michigan staying composed, taking their time, trying to work their way inside. Not a lot of movement, though. Jackson now has it at the 20 on the near side, trying to move in on that, spins. Can't find any space. Gives it back out to King between the hash marks at the 30. King moving toward his left. His shot, pretty soft, saved by Carey. Ohio State will have the ball moving the other way. Pretty weak opportunity Michigan had to end off that buildup. Bringing it across the timeline will be Regan Como. Toss it up the field, and they'll get it into the stick of John Kelly. Kelly has it at the 30-yard line at the hash marks. He'll give it back to David Planning. Planning has a goal on the day for the Buckeyes. He tosses it back to Kelly at the near side. Numbers at the 30. Kelly dumps it behind the net to Colin Chell. Chell working his way, trying to find a way back out front. Tosses it far side, and they'll get it back up top to Turner Evans. Back to Kelly, back to Evans. Evans cuts toward the outside at the 20. Up top now to Jesse King. King at the 25, trying to find a way inside. Turns with it, left-handed shot, blocked down. It looks like it hit an Ohio State player in a vulnerable area. We got an injury on the field right now. That is number 14, Parker Brown, if I'm not mistaken. I think he might have taken a shot to the neck on that one. He's gotten up quickly, will be escorted off the field by a medical professional eventually. As it stands, he and a trainer are meeting at midfield. I think he either took that to the side of the helmet or the neck, walking off fully under his own power, to applause from the crowd. So after the injury break, Ohio State will maintain possession of the ball. Looks like number 16, Ryan Hunter, will take Parker Brown's place while he is out. Big loss for the Buckeyes. And now Chell has it behind the net, swings it over to Hunter. Hunter back out to number 10, John Kelly, who has it on the near side at 30. Kelly working his way inside of the 20 hash mark. Shot just wide of target. The ball bounces away where it will be collected by Colin Chell. Chell has it at the 5-yard line, swings it back out to Planning. Planning working his way inside. Now has it at the hash marks, or between the hash marks at the 35. Swings it across to John Kelly at the 25, at the 20. Kelly working his way inside. His shot saved by Logan. Loose ball picked up by number 43, Thomas Orr. Orr weaving his way back and forth, trying to clear the zone. Gets it up to Bergman, who almost lost the ball out of bounds and had to save it. Now Ohio State with an odd man opportunity. Planning swings it inside to King, who is chopped from behind, falls to the ground. And Ohio State furious that there is no penalty called. A timeout called by the Buckeyes, it would appear, but King was hit very hard from behind. He's down, looks to be hurt with some sort of leg injury. He's limping it off, and I think it's safe to say that he was struck with a bit of a dirty shot from a Wolverines player without a call from the referees. So both of Ohio State's star attackers are a bit hobbled as we will go on in this one after the timeout. 2 minutes and 27 seconds to go in this tie lacrosse game. Score still 4-4 here at the Big House in the second quarter. Ohio State out shooting Michigan 20-16, and things have gotten a little bit chippy here in the Big House. Not anything less than what you would expect between two teams from two schools who are not the fondest of each other. Not be surprised if these tensions took the form of a confrontation in the parking lot after the game. No love lost between these two sides. 2:27 to go here in this lacrosse game. 4-4 score. Ohio State out shooting the Wolverines 20-16. You were listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan lacrosse. Elsewhere in the sports world, the Tigers are beating the Indians 7-3. I'd say there's not much else of import in my life going on in the sports world, at least, so that's a bit refreshing to see the Tigers off to a very hot start. Looks like we're about ready to get underway after the timeout. King remains in the game despite taking a shot to the leg. Hunter stays on the field for Parker Brown, who is still off with an injury at the moment. Ohio State will have the ball at the far side, 10-yard line, it appears, when we get underway. Planning runs over there to pick it up. Takes it from the ref, and the clock will run. Chell has it now behind the net for the Buckeyes. Swings it over to Hunter. Hunter out to Evans. Up top to Kelly, back to Evans at the 25, cutting his way. Shimmy steps inside. Back out to number 10, Kelly. Kelly swings it over to King. King at the far side, numbers at the 15, working his way toward the hash marks. Backing his way down, using that big body to find some space. Gives it up to Planning. Planning working his way, backing his way out toward the sideline. Finds King. King with a shimmy step spin move inside. Has the ball taken away from him. It's on the ground. King whacks it away. And heading toward the sideline, it will be picked up by the Ohio State Buckeyes. Colin Chell. Chell gets it out to Evans. Evans over to Kelly, back over to King. King cutting his way inside. Far side pass inside is caught and shoveled toward the net, and it is in the goal past Gerald Logan. Again, an Ohio State Buckeyes player getting wide open, all alone, within 3 yards of the net. There's nothing Gerald Logan can do about that. It's just defensive breakdowns for the Wolverines. And that was the sub, Ryan Hunter, had his stick whacked by Bergman as he went for that shot, but the momentum of his stick going forward was enough to carry the ball between the legs of Gerald Logan. And again, there's nothing Logan can do to react to that kind of play. He's being hung out to dry by this Wolverines defense, and Ohio State has taken control of this game and has taken the lead 5-4 with 3 unanswered goals. Facing off in the middle will be Brad Lott and Chris May. May wins it for the Buckeyes, has it up the middle of the field, unmolested at the 20. He shoots, and he scores off of a face-off. Chris May with an absolute rocket from the 20-yard line between the hash marks. Left all alone. No Wolverine able to step up and defend him, and Ohio State now with a 2-goal lead. Just absolutely untouched. Nobody coming to meet him, and that's probably a bad goal for Gerald Logan to give up. But then again, Chris May had no one bothering him as he streaked in on net there. The score now 6-4. And it looks like we're going to have a different Wolverine out to face off with May than Lott, as Lott did not do a great job of tying his man up. Looks like it will be Charlie McPeters facing off. Peters fighting for it with May. May wins it. Turning back into his own end. He is whacked by King. Tosses it back to his goalie, Carey. Carey working his way back and forth, trying to clear it out of his zone. Finds a defenseman moving up the field is number 39, Evan Mulcroney. Mulcroney tosses it up, loses the ball. It's picked up by Hatton for the Wolverines. Hatton throws it into open space, but there's nobody there to pick it up for Wolverines. House gets it for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now King has it sprinting up the field across the 30, across the 20. Dumps it down low. A minute left here in the second quarter. Ohio State up 6-4. Chell swings it over to number 12, David Planning. Planning near side to number 9, JT Bluebaugh. Bluebaugh up top to Rick Lewis. He'll swing it across the field back to Chell on the far side at the 5-yard line near the numbers. Chell out to King. Over to Lewis. Now Bluebaugh on the near side. Bluebaugh down low to number 16, Hunter. Hunter working his way behind the net. Finds a man at the far side. That looks like number 36, Tyler Pfister. Pfister at the far side behind the net, working his way in toward the 10. Behind the goal now. He's met there by Hatton. Gives a pass out front. Shot and scores. JT Bluebaugh found another gap in this Wolverines defense that is disintegrating right before Gerald Logan's eyes. With 9.4 seconds to go here in the second quarter, things have taken a turn for the worse for the Michigan Wolverines, who once held a 4-2 lead over the visiting 11th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. They now trail the Buckeyes 7-4, and it's clear to see why these two teams are on different tiers as far as skill level goes, even as far as experience goes. This Wolverines program has been outclassed thus far today. So facing off at midfield are Chris May and a Wolverine who has yet to be identified. Wolverines opting for a defensive approach off the faceoff. May wins it. And now it'll be picked up going the other way by Chase Brown. Brown swings it in toward the net. It bounces away, and that'll do it for the first half of Michigan lacrosse. The Buckeyes will take a 7-4 lead into the locker room at halftime as Michigan got out to an early lead but could not add to it and have paid the price thus far. Ohio State taking control of this game heading into their locker room, and that's going to do it for the first half of our coverage of Michigan lacrosse. Be sure to tune in for the second half here on WCBN FM Ann Arbor's YouTube channel. We'll be back in about 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan lacrosse. We're about ready to face off to start the second half. Michigan trails the Buckeyes 7-4. It'll be Chris May facing off in the middle of the field against the man who appears to be Charlie McPeters. My mistake, that'll be Chase Brown. Chase Brown facing off against May. Brown knocks it forward, and it is picked up in attacking territory by number 5 for the Wolverines, David McCormick. McCormick running down the left side across the 20, across the 10, behind the net where he swings it over to Will Meter as the Wolverines patiently get their substitutes, their attackers on the field. Meter biding his time, swings it back behind the net to McCormick. McCormick across the field to Ian King. King up top to Hernandez. Hernandez over to Schlosser. Kyle Jackson runs on the field for Michigan. Schlosser dumps it down low to number 15, Meter. Meter over to McCormick. Now over to King on the far side. King out to Hernandez. Hernandez to midfield where he finds Schlosser. Schlosser up the right hash marks across the 40, across the 30 to the 25. Dumps it down low to McCormick. McCormick over to Meter. Meter back up top to, I believe, Hernandez. Hernandez working his way inside. Sorry, that was Jackson. Jackson works his way inside. Swings it out to King. Back to Jackson at the 13. Jackson dumps it down low to Will Meter. Meter working his way inside. Dumps it back out to the far side. Now up top it is Hernandez. Hernandez faking a shot at the 30. Moving in on the right side hash marks across the 20. Hernandez over to number 17, Schlosser, across the 20, inside the 15. Bouncing shot saved, and that one trickles out of play. Will Meter over to pick it up for the Wolverines. Has it in the end zone. Meter working his way now out in front of the net. Tries a jumping shot and scores. A heroic leap and finish for Will Meter there, and Michigan cuts into the Ohio State lead. They now trail only 7-5 here at the Big House. A quick goal is exactly the response that they needed after winning that face-off. And now with 13-19 to go here in the third quarter, Michigan brings the game a little bit closer. I'd like to take this moment to shout out to our only viewer right now, Jeremy Parks. Thank you for tuning in, Jeremy. Jeremy, also a member of WCBN. You can hear him on old softball broadcasts as well as the Daily Sports Report, which airs Monday through Thursday from 6 to 6:30. Facing off now at midfield is number 49, Chase Brown, along with Chris May. May looks like he wins it for Ohio State, shovels it up the field to number 36, Pfister. Pfister working his way inside, dumps it back outside to the near side, where it'll be handled by David Planning at about the 30 on the near side numbers. Walking down to the 25, dumps it out. Number 10, John Kelly, back to Planning, now down low. Behind the net to Chell. Chell over to Parker Brown, back from his brief little injury. Brown tosses it out to King, gives it back to number 10, Kelly. They'll swing it over to far near side to number 12, Planning. Planning behind the net to Brown. Brown working his way out to the 10 on the far side, back down low to Chell. Chell near the goal line. Out to King. King working his way in on that spins back to his right side. Close range shot is handled there by Gerald Logan. What a save there. Logan quickly outlets to his man, an attacker. That is Parker McKee. McKee across midfield, across the 30. His pass down low is right into the waiting defensive stick of Eric Evans. Evans going the other way for the Buckeyes. Gets it up across the field. Terrible pass there by Parker McKee, who had a chance to initiate an attack. And now the Ohio State Buckeyes have an odd man numbers, and Parker Brown rips one from the 20-yard line hash marks and slots it past Gerald Logan into the back of the net. So just like that, the momentum swings the Wolverines on the attack. And then it just turned right around on them, and Parker Brown with a pinpoint location there right between the legs of Gerald Logan. Could not swing his stick around in time, could not close the wickets, and a 5-hole rocket brings the Ohio State lead back to 3. Ready to face off back at the middle. I'm sure Parker McKee will be chastised for his careless turnover that led to the counterattack for the Buckeyes. Chase Brown facing off against Chris May. May looks to be stretching, maybe nursing an injury, maybe exchanging friendly words with the referees, trying to win them over to his side. About to drop the ball and get underway here. And Ohio State will win the faceoff. It's May with a bouncing pass up the field. It's intercepted, taken away by the Wolverines, but now they lose it. Paul still bouncing around, picked up by Hatton. Hatton swings it back to his own end to Bergman. Bergman dumps it back to the goalie, Logan. Logan working his way up the field at the 20, at the hash marks. Logan swings it up to an attacker. They get it up to PJ Bogle. Bogle at the 20-yard line now dumps it down low to Will Meter behind the net. Wolverines initiating their attack. Will Meter taking his time, working his way toward the near side, dumps it out to number 33, PJ Bogle. Bogle at the 25-yard line at the numbers on the near side. Back to the 30, swings it back out to midfield to number 1, David Joseph. Haven't seen much of him today. Joseph swings it to the far side. Number 46, Riley Kennedy. Kennedy dumps it down low, gets it back. Kennedy back out to Bogle at the hash marks at the 35. Bogle working his way inside, cuts to his right. Back up top to Kennedy. Kennedy over to Joseph. Back to Kennedy. Kennedy misses the pass. Ball bouncing toward midfield where it is knocked back into Michigan territory. But they're going to call an infraction there. Ohio State picks it up, and a man over there is checked by a Michigan player, knocked down to the turf. The refs throw flags onto the field, and I believe that's going to lead to a 30-second Ohio State man advantage. It will be a power play, yes, for 30 seconds. Ohio State will have a man up on the Wolverines on the attack here with a chance to add to their 3-goal, 8-5 lead. David Joseph, the Wolverine, in the sin bin, the proverbial lacrosse sin bin right now. Ohio State has it behind the net. It'll be number 16, Hunter. They'll swing it out to King. Quick passes, finds Hunter near in front of the net. Bouncing shot just wide. It'll be handled out of play by Parker Brown. Brown back up top to Planning. Back to Brown behind the net at the 5-yard line. Now with a 10. Near side numbers. Dumps it back in front of the net. Brown over to Planning. Over to King. King dumps it. They give it back to King at about the 25, far side. Down low. Now it's Turner Evans trying to find some space. Back out to King. King near side. Brown cross crease pass right in front of the net. Caught. Shot. Scores. Ryan Hunter for the Buckeyes makes it 9-5. The man advantage too much for this Wolverines defense to handle. The Wolverines have struggled to keep Ohio State out of the slot right in front of the net, and that goal was no different, as it looked like a miscommunication. Two Wolverines were marking Colin Chell in front of the net, and number 43, Thomas Orr, tried to dart back and check Hunter in front of the goal, but he was too late getting there. Poor Gerald Logan has just faced all kinds of point-blank opportunities today. He's stopped a fair amount of them, but there's only so much you can do. Michigan now trails 9-5 with 9:58 to go here in the third quarter. The face-off in the middle will be handled by Chase Brown against Chris May for the Buckeyes. They fight for it. May wins it back to his own side, picks up the loose ball, shovels it up ahead to Regan Como. Como across the 35, across the 30, toward the 25, passes toward the center. They swing it out to King, and an errant pass is turned over. That was number 45, Brendan Barger, working his way toward the middle, trying to find King on the wing. King would have had an open shot, but the pass was out of his reach. So Logan has it now, swings it over to Hernandez on the right side. Hernandez sprinting across midfield, across the 40, now to the 30, to the 20. His pass toward the middle is completed. The shot bounces in, and it's saved by Tom Carey, the goalie for Ohio State. Now going the other way is Como. Long pass up the right sideline. Finds a man. They dump it toward the middle. It's caught and then knocked away. Matt Gembas broke the stick of the attacker. Huge defensive play there. And now heading back up the field is number 17, Mikey Schlosser. Schlosser has it across the 30 for the Wolverines at the 25-yard line on the far side, where he will pause as Michigan gets their attackers on the field. Schlosser swings it back to Hernandez, who gives to Jackson with 2 goals for the Wolverines. Jackson on the near side, back up top to Hernandez. Hernandez working his way in along the left side hash marks. Dumps it over to Schlosser. Schlosser has it up top at the 35-yard line. Now the 30 working in on the hash marks. Looks to rip a shot, and he scores! Mikey Schlosser through the traffic, a sidearm shot from about the 22-yard line. That was a shot from some distance, but he got it off before the goalie, Tom Carey, was ready for it. Found the top left-hand corner, an absolute dart that found its mark, in the Wolverines back within 3 here at the Big House. That one to the left of the goalie, Carey, who could not handle that one. So Michigan back within 3. They trail the Ohio State Buckeyes 6-9. That is Mikey Schlosser's first tally of the day, and Chase Brown and Chris May ready to face off at the center circle yet again. We are underway. May again wins the face-off. He has been pretty effective for the Buckeyes today. Even has a goal for himself. May carrying it across midfield toward the 35 on the far side before he dumps it off to number 36, Tyler Pfister. Pfister working his way down to the 20 on the far side. Dumps it behind the net to Chell. Chell finds Parker Brown. Brown on the near side numbers. Dumps it out to Planning, and now they give it to John Kelly. Back to Planning at the 20 on the near side. Planning behind the net to Chell. Chell over to Brown. Brown out to King. King up top to Turner Evans. Has it at about the 35. Over to Kelly. Down low to Chell. Chell swings to Brown. Ohio State content to cycle the ball. Waiting for an opening. King finds Planning out at the 30. Planning across the field. Finds Evans. Evans in on goal. Pass in front. Shot and scores. Clinical work by the Buckeyes as Planning found Colin Chell wide open in front of the net on a cross crease pass. The Michigan defense just not able to account for these Buckeyes as they are playing some beautiful lacrosse, I must say. It's just tic-tac-toe. A wide open net right there. There was nothing Gerald Logan could do against the snapshot from Colin Chell. That's got to be his 3rd on the day. Ohio State with a 10-6 lead. Michigan takes a timeout. Things are getting ugly here at the Big House. Michigan able to mount some spirited counterattacks, but just not able to stop these Buckeyes. The flow of goals just continues to go against these Wolverines, and they've got to do something to stop the bleeding, though. I can't imagine what Ohio State's just done such a great job of remaining patient, not forcing the issue against the Wolverines, and just working the ball around quickly. The ball movement between these two teams, it's definitely a marked difference, because Michigan definitely has a lot more individual probing efforts before they cycle around, but Ohio State, it's like watching Barcelona play soccer, really. It's tiki-taka. It's pass, 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 movement off the ball, movement on the ball, faking, probing, waiting to find that perfect opportunity, and more often than not, they have been able to find that perfect opportunity. And as a result, they are leading these Michigan Wolverines 10-6 in today's game. Michigan, the most goals they have given up this year, it was 22 in a 22-12 loss to the 20th ranked Brown team. So we're probably not going to approach a number like that, but this definitely looks like the Wolverines on pace to give up more than the 13 that they surrendered to the Maryland Terrapins earlier on the season. And I don't think Ohio State, especially after Michigan has dealt some bumps and bruises to 2 of their best players, I don't think Ohio State is the type of team that's going to stop once they're ahead. This one could get very ugly and out of control if the Wolverines cannot buckle down defensively, or at least mount some sort of response. So after the timeout, we're about ready to get back underway. It looks like Brown again will face off against a different Ohio State Buckeye. This is Jake Withers taking the face-off for the Buckeyes. Chris May has earned a much-needed break. Withers picks it up. tracking back toward his side. He is tripped up by a diving Brown, and the ref throws a flag. That could be a penalty against the Wolverines and a power play for Ohio State. A desperate lunge leads to a trip. But as for now, Ohio State will maintain possession of the ball. Number 43, Eric Evans swings it down low to Kellen Chell. Chell working his way behind the Wolverine net in the end zone. Gives it back out to Planning. Planning on the near side. Dumps it out to the 35-yard line where he finds John Kelly. Kelly finds Turner Evans sprinting across the field between the hash marks. Has Kelly on the left side. Kelly over to Planning. Dumps it down low to Chell. Chell across field to Brown. Brown behind the net at the 5. Now the 10 on the far side. Gets it back out to his man, John Kelly. Kelly working his way toward the net on the 20-yard line. Turns, gives it back out to Planning across the field at 30. Planning working his way toward the 25. Short pass. Finds King in an attacking position. King gives it back out to Planning. Sets a screen for Planning, who's running in. Rips a shot in on net right into the waiting catcher of Gerald Logan. And because Michigan has gained possession, that's where the penalty will be called. It looks like Ohio State will have another 30-second power play. Michigan really going to have to dig deep in order to stop this one. It will be a 1-minute power play as Chase Brown will head to the sin bin, per se, as the Wolverines try to fend off the Buckeyes. A minute of advantage for Ohio State. They have 6 attackers to the Wolverines' 5. Out toward midfield is Planning. Sends it across to Brown. Brown down low to Chell. Chell over to Hunter. Hunter to the far side has Turner Evans. Evans up top to Planning at the 35-yard hash marks. Finds King at the 30. Fakes a pass. Finds a man inside. Shot, score. Colin Chell again moving across the field from near to far side at about the 17-yard line. Just spun and ripped one by Gerald Logan before he knew what was coming. Ohio State with a 5-goal lead. They now lead the Wolverines 11-6. And again, the passing, the quick work, just superb. And Chell swung that one by Logan before he knew what was coming. Ohio State makes good on the minute-long power play. And the Wolverines back at full strength, but now losing by 5 goals to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Facing off near the center will be, again, Chase Brown against, again, Jake Withers, number 18 for the Buckeyes. Brown and Withers waiting near the center circle. Taking their time, the ref puts one down in the middle, and Withers fights for it and tried to scoop it up. Ball still loose. They're fighting for it. The Wolverines pick it up. Looks like number 35, Chase Young, has it for Michigan. Bringing it down near the 20. Dumps it down low to Meter. Meter working his way into the end zone behind the goal. Michigan will substitute their attackers on. Will Meter sends it to the far side to Ian King. King back out to Schlosser. Gets it over to Hernandez. Hernandez working his way toward the middle of the field at the 25. At the 20, rips a left-handed shot. Bounces just high and wide of goal. It'll be chased down by the Wolverines, who will pick it up as the ball goes out of play. Meter sends it over to Jackson on the near side at the 15. Back down low to Meter behind the net. Meter working his way out toward the front of the net. Spins with it. Cuts back. Taking his time. Defended closely. Sprinting toward the front. Looks to spin toward his right hand. Does so. Bounces it back behind the net to McCormick. McCormick back out. And they have it now at the 30-yard line. It's Ian King spinning his way toward the goal at the 25. Back out to Schlosser. Schlosser scoring the most recent goal for the Wolverines. Gives it over to Hernandez on the right side. Hernandez using his body to bully his way inside. Can't find a shot, though. Good defense by the Buckeyes. Backs it out and finds Kyle Jackson at the 40-yard line between the hash marks. Jackson with a lot of speed moving in toward the 20. Swings it back out. Good snag there by Jackson. Sorry, that was Schlosser working it in. And now behind the net with it is number 10, Ian King. King moving toward his left, trying to circle out front. His pass bounces up the field to the 40 and now to the 45, where it is finally scooped up by number 17, Mikey Schlosser. Schlosser across the 30. Schlosser to the 25. His pass bounces away, finally picked up by another Wolverine. It's McCormick. McCormick swings it back behind the net to Meter. Meter in his own end zone, working his way toward the front of the net. His pass received, shot ripped on net. That one might have gotten blocked down in front. Ball is loose, picked up over there by Schlosser. Schlosser toward the goal. His pass deflected, picked up by a Wolverine. Shot whistles wide, and Ohio State will take over as the goalie Tom Carey was the first one to get there. Carey picks it up. Ohio State leading by 5, looking to add to their tally. Taking it across the midfield line is Tyler Pfister. Across the 30-yard line on the near side, dumps it down low to Parker Brown. Brown behind the net to Chell. Colin Chell swings it to the far side to King. Back out to Kelly. John Kelly back over to King at the 15-yard line on the far side. Down low to Chell, over to Brown now on the near side. Brown at the 10-yard line. Out to Pfister, back up top to Blue Ball. Blue Ball between the hash marks at the 35 to the near side to Pfister. Now they get it back to the far side. That'll be King working his way in on net. King across the 15. Sorry, that was Kelly. Kelly now has it at the far side near the 5-yard line. Behind the net now to number 14, Parker Brown. Now the near side, King working his way back and forth in on net, and a foul committed, and Chase Brown picks it up for the Wolverines now as they retake possession, finally getting a stop on the Buckeyes. Matt Gembis has it now on the near side of the 20. He's left all alone, taking his time. Throws a long cross-field pass to a Wolverine who will cross the line. That was Thomas Orr with it. He'll dump it down low. With the ball now is David McCormick. McCormick swings it to the near side of Jackson at the 10-yard line. Out to the 15, the 20. Working his way toward the middle of the field. Gets a bit of a screen there. And they're going to rule that it was an illegal screen. And the ball goes the other way with the Buckeyes. That was Schlosser committing the foul. And now Buckeyes working quickly on the counterattack. Brown with some space. Dumps it behind the net. Finds Chell. Chell looking for a man back out front. Finds one. Shot. Scores. Number 10, John Kelly. From the 15-yard line on the near side. Bit of a tough angle, but he just roofed that one. Almost barred down by the goalie, Gerald Logan. The Buckeyes have doubled the Wolverines' score. They now lead 12-6 here in the Big House, and this is starting to get a little bit embarrassing for the Wolverines. That one not bar down, but off right post and in. A fist pump from number 33, Casey Capinos, for Ohio State, and Michigan in some dire straits right now. Facing off will be Chase Brown against Christopher May. Ohio State out shooting the Wolverines 32-23, and their shots have been of higher quality than Michigan's as well. May fights for it, still fighting for it. Ball is on the ground, loose, bouncing around into Ohio State territory. Sticks whacking at it. Ohio State picks it up. It's Jesse King with it, but the refs will wave it off as Ohio State committed a foul, so the Wolverines take over. Going the other way with it is number 35, Chase Young. Young bodied up by some Buckeyes, gets it across midfield. To the 30-yard line is Chase Young. Now down to the 25, the 20, the 15. Dumps it down low to Will Meter. Young will, after an exhausting run, head off the field. Meter working his way out toward the front of the net. Turns back at the 5 on the far side now. Swings it over. They'll get it up top to Kyle Jackson, the playmaker. Sorry, that is not Kyle Jackson. That is Riley Kennedy. Kennedy swings it over to P.J. Bogle. Bogle at the 30. Swings it back up top to number 1, David Joseph. Joseph weaving his way in and out of defenders. His shot saved by Tom Carey, and Carey collected the rebound, got it up to a defender who's running up the side of the 45. Tosses it all the way back to his goalie, Carey. Carey gives it over to Robbie House, who will break it out for the Buckeyes. House gets it up ahead to Planning. Planning across the 30-yard line. Now stops at the 25 at the numbers on the near side. David Planning willing to take his time. A minute to go here in the third quarter. Ohio State leading 12-6 over the Wolverines. Planning gives it up to the far side to Pfister. Pfister dumps it down to number 16, Robbie Hunter. Hunter over to Parker Brown. Parker Brown to the near side at the 15-yard line. Cutting back is Blue Ball. Back down to Brown. Brown working his way out to the 10, now to the 15. Turns back with it. Back behind the net to number 36, Pfister. Pfister taking his time on the hash marks at about the 5-yard line, letting the clock wind down. 23 seconds to go here in the half. Approaching him slowly is Thomas Orr. Orr trying to cut off his angles. Pfister working his way toward his right, spins with it, gives it back to Brown, turns it over. That one's going to bounce out of play. It'll be tracked down over there by Thomas Orr, who will throw a long pass down the field. It's knocked away. Ball's loose with 3 and 2 seconds left. That's going to do it for the third quarter. We headed into this one with Michigan trailing 7-4. We will head into the fourth quarter with Michigan trailing 12-6. The Buckeyes double their lead in the third quarter, starting to take control of this one, and we will be back very shortly with coverage of the fourth quarter. Well, we're about ready to get back underway here in the big house. You're listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's coverage of Michigan lacrosse. Right now, the Wolverines trail the Ohio State Buckeyes 12-6. They're now heading from right to left. It appears as though Chase Brown is taking the role of the face-off man for the Wolverines, as he has taken the most of the ones that the Wolverines have seen in this game. Brad Lott sent off after surrendering a particularly embarrassing goal to Chris May. He will face off against number 18, Jake Withers. We're about ready to get underway here. Brown and Withers facing off in the center. We are underway. Withers almost scooped it up for Ohio State. Ball poked around, kicked out of play by a Buckeye, and Wolverines will take possession. Number 20, Christian Walter, has it going the other way for Michigan. Walter swings it behind the net to Will Meter on the far side of the field. Meter spins with it, working his way out front, trying to find a space for a shot. Spins back to his right hand. Faked a pass behind the net, and now actually dumps it off to David McCormick. McCormick working his way around, looking for a man, finally gives it back up top to Mikey Hernandez. Hernandez cuts inside at the 20. Outside the hash marks on the near side is Hernandez, spinning with it, trying to get free of his man. Across the 20, back out to Kyle Jackson. Jackson at the 30-yard line, now the 25-20. Outside the hash marks on the near side, swings it across to Schlosser. Schlosser rips a shot well wide. No danger there for goalie Tom Carey. It'll be picked up there by McCormick, who makes a tight spin move. Almost had a shot there, but instead decides to give it out to Hernandez. Hernandez working down the right side, draws a couple defenders, swings back out to Ian King. King working his way toward the right side, bodied up, being real physical, spins toward his left, bouncing pass, handled there by Meter, all alone behind the Ohio State goal. This could spell danger for the Buckeyes. Meter taking his time, looking for a pass opportunity out front. Finds one. It's Jackson. Jackson has his shot blocked down. Great defense there by number 8, Regan Como. And now Ohio State picks up the loose ball and goes the other way with it. Crossing midfield, heading into the Michigan zone is number 33, Casey Capinos. Capinos dumps it down to Brown. Brown behind the net to Colin Chell. Ohio State a chance to catch the Wolverines off guard. Chell gives it back out to number 14, Brown. Brown over to number 12, David Planning. Planning over to Kelly. Back to Planning on the far side at 30 now. Back to Kelly at the 35 between the hash marks. Makes a cut, met by a couple Wolverines defenders. Moving to his right, now back to his left. Still hanging at about the 30-yard line, moving horizontally, not accomplishing much vertically. He is rebuffed and left all alone at about the 35-yard line. He'll dump it across the field to Turner Evans. Evans down low to King, who gives it behind the net to Brown. Brown cross field to Chell. Chell at the 5. Gives it back up. They have it up top now. It's Turner Evans. Quick passing from the Buckeyes. King has it on the near side at the 25. He'll dump it back up top to Planning. Planning over to Evans. Evans cuts his way inside. Almost lost his balance. Holds on to it. His pass right into the middle. King has an open shot and sends it wide. That one a golden opportunity for the Buckeyes to add to their already prodigious lead. Now Brown has it for Ohio State at the 15 on the near side. Dumps it back out to Turner Evans. Evans faked a pass to Planning. Still has it at the 20. Now at the 10, working his way toward the sidelines. Content to take his time on this attack. Now at the 10-yard line, starting his move toward the middle. Hash marks behind the net. Evans working his way back out in front of the net. Met by a couple defenders. Spins off of them. Dumps it behind to Brown. Brown, rebuffed by the Wolverines, sends it back out to Jesse King. King working his way along the left side, spins back to his left. Odd angle shot is saved by Logan. Ball is picked up by a Wolverines defender who puts it into the protected zone around the goalie. Logan has it now and outlets it to his man going the other way. Number 32, Charlie Keedy. Keedy into the attacking zone. Dumps it down low to Will Meter. Will Meter working his way toward the center. Sends it across the field to King at the 10. King dumps it out to Schlosser, who tries a go from the 20-yard line inside the hash marks. Missed the net there, and Meter will track down the loose ball. Meter sends it to the far sidelines at the 15, and they'll set it up with Jackson. Jackson working his way toward the net. 25 crossfield pass to number 7, Brendan Gaughan. Gaughan loses the ball. It crosses midfield where it is battled for. And a foul now. That one, I think, is going to go against the Ohio State Buckeyes. So for the first time in this game, the Wolverines will have a power play and a chance to cut into this 6-goal deficit. Ohio State going to have to regroup a little bit in front of their goal as they will be down 6-5 on this attack. Heading to the box for 1 minute is Evan Mulcroney. The Ohio State defender got a little too physical and trying to pick up a loose ball at midfield, so now the Wolverines have a chance. Kraus in on attack with Francia, along with King at the 30 with the ball. Sends it to Kraus, down low to Francia. Francia dumps it down at the 10. They give it back to Francia at the 20. To the 25, Kraus across to King. King over to a man, back to King. Now they'll send a cross-field pass to Kraus. Francia, odd angle shot, zips it into the top of the net. A goal for Michigan. Mike Francia coming on the power play and doing what he was sent out there to do, which is score goals. Nice spin and shot from low to high there, and nothing Tom Carey could do but get whiplash, turning his neck, watching that one go right by him into the top of the net. Michigan cuts into the deficit. They now trail 7 to Ohio State's 12. making good on the power play there. The senior Francia has not been on the field much today, but he made good on his time. He's now ready for the face-off at midfield is Chase Brown and Chris May. May and Brown fighting for it. Knocked into Michigan attacking territory. Brown fighting for the loose ball. It's picked up by a Michigan Wolverine, though. And heading way back into his own territory is number 20. Turns it over right into the waiting hands of Chell. Chell over to Brown now. A costly error there by Christian Walter. And now Ohio State taking their time in the attacking zone. Pfister has it. Tyler Pfister at the 30-yard line on the far side, working his way to the 20. Finds Chell at the goal line on the far side. Back to Pfister. And back up top to number 9. JT Blueball. Blueball gives it up to Ryan Lewis. They'll send it down low to Chell. Chell over to Brown behind the net. Spins with it, heading toward his left side. Gets it back out to Blueball. Blueball up top to Lewis. Lewis over to the left side. Cutting toward the net is Pfister. Pfister hacked at by Hatton, and he throws it away. Ball heading toward Ohio State territory, but is knocked back into play. Ball still loose. Finally picked up in some space by number 35 for the Wolverines, Chase Young. Young gives it up to King. King moving his way down toward the 10 on the near side. Dumps it back out to Mikey Schlosser. The Wolverines' chance to go on the attack here. Schlosser finding open field at the 35-yard line, now at the 30. Now along the far side of the 20. His pass behind the net. They'll send it back out top. Leaping grab there by Hernandez. Sends it over to Jackson. Jackson's pass out front to no one in particular is sent out of play, and a turnover. No, they're saying the pass was deflected, and the Wolverines will maintain possession. Bit of confusion there between the two referees, as Ian King has it now on the near side at the numbers at the 5-yard line, working his way toward the goal, running inside, spins, shot, deflected, up in the air, ball is bouncing around, and is finally picked up by a Buckeye. That's Pfister in the midfield. Pfister being chased down by a couple of Wolverines attackers, loses the ball. It's bouncing around, diving effort there by a Wolverines player. Ball still loose, a scrum at midfield. Ball finally picked up by a Buckeye. They'll send it downfield into the attack where the pass is intercepted by Mac Gembis. Gembis throws a long pass up the field. Finds number 32, Keedy. Keedy gets it up ahead to a Wolverine on the attack. Not sure who it is, but he has it at the far side at the 20-yard line. Waving some defenders off. That's Mike Francia. Francia has it at the 15. His pass toward midfield bounces over the head of Hernandez, who's barely able to collect it before it crosses midfield. Now Hernandez across the 30 between the hash marks. Sends it over to the far side. Francia's shot just wide. An odd angle shot by Mike Francia, looking to bring the Wolverines just a bit closer, but Meter will track down the loose ball instead. Meter sprinting across the field, across the 15 into the hash marks, tried a low shot, deflected wide. King picks it up for the Michigan Wolverines, sends it out to Schlosser, cutting his way inside the hash mark, spins with it, lost his footing, got back up, holds onto it. Schlosser fighting his way, throws a shot on net, saved by Carey. Carey outlets it to his man, Regan Como. Como running across midfield into Ohio State attacking zone. Dumps it over to Brown on the far side at the 17. Brown behind the net to Chell. Chell gives it back to Brown on the far side at the 10-yard line. Brown back up top to number 10, John Kelly. Kelly at the 30-yard line, now at the 25. Dumps it down to Chell. Chell guarded by number 4, Matt Gembis. Gives it down low behind the net to Parker Brown. Brown to the near side to King. King has it, gets it back out to the 30-yard line to Evans. Evans sends it across field to Parker Brown, who swings it back to Planning. Planning down low to Brown behind the net. Sorry, that was Kelly on the far side. Brown sends it across to Chell. Chell back out to number 10, Kelly. Gives it up to Planning. Back to Kelly at the 35 on the far side. Kelly working his way in toward the middle between the hash marks. Backtracks. Now working toward his left. Passes over to King. King with a shot from 25 yards out. No good. Rebound is grabbed by Ohio State and slotted back in. It was a loose ball that David Planning managed to find and he was in the right place at the right time, wide open in front of the net. Bounced it by Gerald Logan. Another point-blank opportunity for these Ohio State Buckeyes, and another conversion and another goal. Ohio State now leading the Michigan Wolverines 13-7 with 5 minutes and 58 seconds to go here in the fourth quarter. It would definitely take a bit of a miracle for these Michigan Wolverines to come back in this one. Ohio State has clearly been the more potent of the two sides. They've executed all day. They've gotten the loose balls. They've avoided trouble with penalties. They've outshot the Wolverines only 36-33, but their shots have been of the higher quality variety. In Michigan going to take a timeout and perhaps mentally ready themselves for one final charge against the Buckeyes. The dance cam is on here at the Big House, but the Wolverines fans in attendance don't really look like they're too eager to get up off their feet. Probably a little bit demoralized, as I have been up here in the booth watching Ohio State eviscerate the Wolverines' defense with some of the passing attacks they have developed so far. There's not been a bad game in goal, I wouldn't say, for Gerald Logan. Certainly he'll be discouraged looking up the scoreboard and seeing a 13 spot sitting up there for Ohio State, but there hasn't been much that he could do. The Wolverines consistently breaking down on defense in the face of the quick and effective passing of the Buckeyes. Consistently finding guys open in front of the net, and there's really only so much you can do. Meanwhile, in other news, the only other sports news that matters to me right now, the Tigers still beating the Tribe 7-3 now. That game is in the top of the 8th inning. WCBN exec board member Eli Sherman, no doubt a little bit salty at the results of that one. So we're about ready to face off at midfield. It will be Chris May going up against Chase Brown, who has taken over the role of the face-off man for the Wolverines. Two mixed results so far. 5:58 to go here in this game, barring a miraculous comeback for the Wolverines. Refs are about ready. The crowd has thinned on the far side of the field. Still the majority remaining, but certainly some fans a bit fed up with the dominance of the chief rival of this school. Brown facing off with May in the center circle. Ref puts the ball down. Blows the whistle. We're underway. May wins it right back toward his own side, scoops it up himself, crosses midfield. He is met there, hard hitting there by the Wolverines. Can't get the ball off of him, and they finally do. A turnover there by May, and the Wolverines take over. Now it will be Matt Gembis with it at his own 20 for the Wolverines. Swings it across to Logan. The Wolverines working with some urgency right now, as they need to. With less than 6 minutes to go, Gembis throws it up the field. It's caught by a midfielder. Crossing the 50-yard line is number 20, Christian Walter, and he has it poked off of him out of bounds, losing it. A turnover there for Walter, and Ohio State again takes over. They'll send it back to the goalie, Tom Carey. Carey gives it up to his defenseman, Robbie House, on the right side at the 35, back to Carey at the 30. Ohio State passing it around their defense as they can. They find Planning coming off the bench, Planning across the 30 on the far side, turns back to the 30, dumps it down low to number 14, Parker Brown, and gives it behind the net to Colin Chell. That's been his office for most of today's game. He'll swing it to the near side to King. King back up top to Turner Evans. Evans up top to Kelly. Kelly over to Planning, behind to Brown. Brown at the far side, 15-yard line. Back out to Kelly, across the field to Evans at the 35, now at the 30. Near side hash marks. Evan cuts with it at the 25. Sends it back to Chell behind the net in the end zone. Working between the hash marks, now moving to his right. Chell being defended closely by Bergman. Swings it back out to Kelly. John Kelly working at the 20. Moving in on net. Back to Chell. Swings to Brown in a dangerous position on the near side. Back out to the 35-yard line to number 19. That's Jesse King. King working his way down low. Has it behind the Michigan net between the hash marks now, trying to find some spots in front of the net. Finds Brown. Brown's pass received. Shot on goal, bounces just wide into the waiting stick of Jesse King. His pass out front is snagged by the goalie, Gerald Logan. And if I'm not mistaken, we're going to get a penalty against the Wolverines as the refs blew for a stoppage in play. Not sure what his arm gyrations mean at this time, but I know one thing that it means is that Ohio State will have a man advantage for either 30 seconds or a minute. Up 13-7 in this one with 3 minutes and 58 seconds to go in the fourth quarter. For the Wolverines, it will be number 10, Ian King, sent to the penalty area. And now Jesse King has it for Ohio State. Sends it to the right side to Evans. They'll give it back to King. Now over to the left side to Planning. Back to King. Quick pass over to Turner Evans. Wolverines upping the defensive intensity. The dump behind the net to Brown in some dangerous area. Finds Planning again. Planning up top to King. King's pass inside. Caught. Shot. Save made by Logan. Huge point blank save there. Wolverines scrambling for a loose ball. Bodies flying everywhere. And the refs saw something cynical in there and looks like they're going to call another foul, this one against the Wolverines. So Ohio State has the ball. They will continue their attack. Evans moving in on goal, tosses it back out to King, the point man for this one. Over to Kelly. Pass across is intercepted by a Wolverines defender, and now Bergman has it, throwing it back toward his own net to Gembis. Gembis gives it to Logan in his own protected area, and the Wolverines kill off the penalty. Logan throws a lofted pass downfield across the 50-yard line where it was received by Jackson. Jackson across the 30, across the 25, across the 20 on the far side, dumps it down low to Meter. Meter across the field finds Francia. Francia to the near side to Kyle Jackson at the 20-yard line. Jackson working toward the middle of the field. Finds a man on the other side. It's Schlosser. Schlosser dropped the pass, and now going the other way with it for the Ohio State Buckeyes is number 45, Brendan Barger. He gets it up down the field. So now with it on the far side is number 14, Parker Brown, taking his sweet time. 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in this one. Ohio State almost certainly going to win this one. Chell swings it to the near side to King. King back over to Pfister, whacked from behind. Pfister back behind the net to Chell on the far side. Chell to the 25, 30-yard line finds Brown. Parker Brown at the 30, working his way to the 25, the 20, the 15 on the far side, down low to Chell. Chell finds number 28, Hank Betke. First time we've seen him on the field today. Betke backing down toward his own corner, still behind the net. At the hash marks in the end zone, defended there closely by a Wolverine. Defended closely by Dan Kynek, I believe. Still trying to find his way near the net. Still spinning back and forth, trying to get by him, running across the field toward the far side now. Hasn't crossed the 5-yard line yet. Now he does at the hash marks, trying to score a solo goal or something. He loses the ball. It's picked up by a Buckeye, though. That's Parker Brown. Brown swings it back out to Pfister. Pfister whacked at, finds his way inside the 20. Between the hash marks, shot bounces high over the net. Loose ball will be tracked down by Parker Brown. Minute 19 to go in this one. Clock resumes, and looks like the Wolverines are going to take over here. Maybe a penalty, maybe a turnover. Not sure what's going on, but either way, Gembis swings it over to Logan. Gerald Logan at the 20-yard line across the field to number 7, Brendan Gaughan, who loses the ball. It bounces out of bounds. Ohio State will take over. Parker Brown has it for the Buckeyes. A minute left here as Brown carries it toward the 5-yard line on the near side, dumps it off to number 40, Ryan Borcherding. Borcherding trapped by 2 Wolverines at the 5-yard line, spinning with it, trying to escape. And Ohio State decides to take a timeout here with 45.8 seconds left and a 6-goal lead. Certainly Borcherding in a bit of trouble there, but I still do have to question the necessity of a timeout in a situation where Ohio State is almost certainly 46 seconds from victory. Just seems a case of prolonging the inevitable. And perhaps Ohio State wants to prolong the inevitable, just twist the dagger into the back of the Wolverines, who have been outmatched for the majority of today's game. Ohio State outshooting the Wolverines 38-33. They've had the vast majority of scoring chances in good locations, and that really has been the difference in this one so far. So far in the fourth quarter, only 2 goals have been scored, one by Mike Francia and one by David Planning. The Buckeyes have seemed to have backed off a little bit on the attack, just opting to not risk anything and play out the string and win this one in the big house. And they are 46 seconds from doing so as we are about to get back underway. Ohio State with a full complement of subs, which will no doubt make it difficult for me to identify who the heck is on the field right now. And starting with it for Ohio State is number 23, Brian Ward, working his way behind the Michigan net, harassed by a couple Wolverines. His pass bounces over and is handled and sent back out, where it is intercepted, taken away by a Wolverine. That one, number 43, Thomas Orr, the midfielder with a long pass downfield. It's intercepted, but then taken back away by Francia. Francia pass to the middle, shot, scores for the Wolverines. Number 29, Andrew Portnoy, coming on the field and capitalizing on his first chance. Good find there by Francia, as he probably could have set up a shot for himself, but instead found Portnoy in prime position to score all alone in front of the net, and Portnoy bounced it past the right leg of the goalie, Tom Carey. So Michigan making it look a little bit more respectable. Now trails 13-8 to the Buckeyes with 16 seconds to go in this one. Facing off at midfield will be Jake Withers, and I believe still Chase Brown for the Wolverines. Ref puts the ball down. We're almost ready to get underway. That'll be, Kevin Wiley, who lost that one to Withers. Ohio State just playing out the string here. They have the ball at the near side, 20-yard line. Number 16, Ryan Hunter, taking his time with it, and the clock expires, and that's going to do it. Here from the Big House, the Michigan Wolverines lose to the Ohio State Buckeyes 13-8 in a game that was probably not quite as close as the score indicated. The Buckeyes record their 10th win of the season. They move to 10-3 on the season overall, as well as 3-0 in conference play. The Wolverines now 1-2 in conference play. They only have 2 games remaining on the schedule, an away game at Johns Hopkins, and then they conclude their regular season with a home game against Penn State on April 25th. That'll be here at the Big House, and that'll be at 6 p.m. We will have that call for you on WCBN on our YouTube channel, most likely. But that's all that we have for you today. I'm Morris Fabry. Thank you for listening to WCBN FM Ann Arbor's broadcast of Michigan Lacrosse. I will leave you with a good night and a go blue.